Hi guys, I am back again. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are all well. I am. This is my third video for today, so I'm looking. If I'm looking a little bit, what's the word? Disheveled. It's because it's the third one, so by then everything's melting. The lipstick is melting. I'm popping some popcorn over here because I'm starving. I've had like 2 servings of popcorn already, but I'm still hungry. I wonder if I have any water left. 2 seconds. I might have some water left because my cup is the water's cold at this point. um, yeah, so I wanted to talk about you guys. The third set of videos on my list, which would be Trump videos, Trump and Elon Musk videos, but I haven't prepared anything. You know, sometimes, especially with the Trump videos, I like to try to prepare something in my mind, but I have nothing in my mind. It's quite empty. I'm empty brained. What did someone call me the other day? An airhead? Someone called me an airhead the other day in one of the comments. You airhead. And it was like, your mama. Okay. So, oh, the popcorn's finished, you guys. Should I keep you running or should I turn you off and come back? Because I think I'm gonna keep you running. So yeah, you guys, if you can still hear me, oh my god. So with the Trump stuff, I like to try to prepare a little bit just because, you know, because it's a more complicated subject matter. But I didn't have time to do that, frankly. Okay, because oh my god, I have no space on the table, like literally. But okay, so I wanted to talk about Trump and his billionaire friends. In fact, I'm working on an article about that, you know, um, where I'm talking about Trump and his billionaire friends. And so there are 12 um, men in particular that I think are very sort of part of his inner circle. We have Elon Musk, obviously, who people are saying he's kind of a co-president. Steve Bannon. There's this guy Peter Thiel. Is it Thiel or Thiel? Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Jared Kushner, Tucker Carlson, Ron DeSantis, Rudy Giuliani, Mitch McConnell. He seems to have stopped drinking the Kool-Aid. Vivek Ramaswamy, Lindsey Graham, these types of men. So I've come with these 12 men. And of course, this sort of begged the comparison with Jesus. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble with this one because, the idea of, um, comparing Trump to Jesus. But then you have this, I did write that book 17 years ago, how Oprah, Donald Trump, and Jesus helped me turn a midlife crisis on its nose. Because 17 years ago, I thought I was like really, 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 really old. 17 years ago, you guys. Can you believe that? Sorry about that. I had to just like swallow my popcorn. So, so we have this comparison between Trump and Jesus, and I understand that some people would find it offensive, actually, and I'm not trying to disrespect, Jesus or Trump for that matter, but you know, there are some parallels. We have all of these men. First of all, he's Trump being sort of the central figure. I mean, some would debate that it's really Musk at this point, but it's Trump. Trump is the central figure, and Musk is one of the disciples. Okay, comes out, and we have, and so he's surrounded by all of these men, all of these acolytes, all these men who want to do his bidding, if you will, and both inspire loyalty on a very sort of unusually high level. Both Jesus and Trump. You know, if one believes the story of Jesus, I mean, not everybody is a Christian, and some people don't really believe it. But I think most scholars agree that Jesus was at least a historical figure, and so in some sense, Trump and Jesus definitely have this similarity in how people respond to them, right? We also know that they were very polarized. Jesus was very polarizing in his day. I mean, the you know the authorities did not like him at all, and many people, you say you're the king of the Jews, they were just not having it, right? And in Trump's case, we also have a situation where, there are people who are really, really for Trump, just like they were for Jesus, and some people who really are against him. Then you have the the situation with the women in his life, like Mary Magdalene in Jesus's life. She was the sole woman who, I'm trying to find where I was writing. She's the sole woman in the historical narrative of Jesus who behind the scenes was very important in his life. And in this particular go around with Jesus, with Trump, Trump, you have this woman, Susie Wiles, if I've got that correctly, right? So she sort of is the sole woman in this very sort of male dominated group, you know? And so I just think it's just very, very interesting, the parallels, but I guess maybe that's where the parallels end, because they're such different characters. They're almost the polar opposites in some ways, where Jesus seemed to be very, very humble, for example, and turn the other cheek, and all of the teachings of Jesus, on the Mount of Olives, and how he, you know, really, he was just so humble. I mean, if you believe that this was really the Son of God or God Himself, the humility of Jesus is in stark contrast to, one might say, the hubris of Mr. Trump. One might say, right? One might say. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect Mr. Trump, but one might say. Also, in terms of the the moral teachings of Jesus. Jesus was all about turning the other cheek. They slap you, they give him the other one. Even I reject that. I reject that because I don't think in 2024, in the 21st century, I don't think that works. But this was the teaching of Jesus. I mean, when they slap you in the face, you turn the other cheek. Whereas the Jews at that time believed an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I'm kind of with the Jews on this, okay? Sorry. Sorry about that. But what did I have here? So Trump is, he's not a forgiving man. He's not a forgiving man. He doesn't forgive and forget. He's not compassionate. At least not, his public persona does not in any way suggest a man who understands even the meaning of compassion, for others. I could be wrong. I could be corrected. I'm just saying the way it appears, he doesn't. I would also say that one of the other differences is the fact that, um, with Jesus, it was all about spreading the gospel, and with Trump, it's all about spreading, populism and America first, and stuff like that. So there's that difference. But what's really interesting to me more than anything is how it's like with the evangelicals who follow Mr. Trump. And to me, it almost seems inconsistent. Like when you consider Trump's policies like immigration, when you consider his policy, other policies as well, it's not the most inclusive. It's not the most sort of, you know, you can't really accuse him of being Jesus like um in his persona. Jesus was all about, dying on the cross, being a martyr, giving it all up for others. Whereas Trump, to me, is more about himself and his friends. Yes, he cares about his base. He cares about his base. He cares about what they think about him. Yes. Um, but is he really going to um enact policies that protect them in the end? I don't know. I don't know, because I think his policies are more geared towards wealth and wealth creation, you know, and wealthy people. He cares about, like, deregulation is something that, like, as someone pointed out, I was watching another YouTube channel the other day. It's all about regulation is about protecting the little guys and the little people, from those rich guys who, how do people get rich? How do you think people get rich? People get rich not because they are so much hard. It's not that they work so much harder than the rest of us. I mean, we all work hard. I'm up at 3 in the morning working. I have no money. Literally, I just have no money, right? And there are many people in the world who work really, really hard. They never make money. The difference between, I think, people who are poor and people who are able to make money is a question of cleverness. You have to be clever on the earth to survive it and to thrive in it, right? And people who make billions and billions of dollars, they don't do it by working harder. No, they're just more clever. They're smarter. They know how to cut corners. They know how to get away with things. They know how to get what they want. They know who to associate with to achieve their objectives and their goals. I mean, look, if it means sleeping with them, they do that. If it means, you know, whatever it means, if it means theft, I'm not saying that anybody in particular stole anything, but I'm saying that in some cases, yes, that's what it takes. In other words, in my view, you cannot be a straight shooter and be rich on the earth. The earth is not structured in that way, right? You have to be able to, you have to be cunning. You have to be smart. You have to be a little bit lucky as well, right? You have to be unusually tough, able to take blows and still get up. Um, and yeah, you have to be creative. You do have to have some ideas, right? I mean, Elon Musk is an ideas man, but he'd be absolutely nowhere if he didn't also know how to get with the right people who can help him. He was given or loaned billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to get his projects off the ground. I can't get a $2,000 small business loan. I mean, no bank will lend it to me. No government program will give it to me because they take one look at me and they see that, I mean, they just make certain assumptions, right? You are bleeping bleep. Okay, get out of here. We can't help you, right? And then when you fail, they look at you, people like Elon Musk, who gets all the help he needs, right? Say it's because you have a lower IQ and blah, blah. Look, the bottom line is, I think that to be rich on this level, it's not a question of working harder. It's a question of being more clever. Okay. Now, that brings me to the next point is clever versus wise, right? Because you can be wise and be poor, but it's very, very unlikely that you're clever and poor, right? To be rich, you need to be clever, not wise. Now, why do I bring this up with wisdom? Wisdom is something that I think a lot of these billionaires lack, right? They're very clever, but they lack wisdom. However, because they're so rich, people assume they have it all. They have wisdom, they have street smarts, they have book smarts, they work hard. People make a lot of assumptions about people who are rich. Some of it is true and some of it is wrong-headed. A lot of these billionaires, especially among the 12 around Mr. Trump, I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this. This is bad. Oh my God. What are they going to do with me? I'm a nobody from nowhere. No one even watches my YouTube channel, so I don't even have to worry about it. Thank God the algorithms don't like my channel. I'd be in so much trouble. I wouldn't even know which way is up, you guys. That was an ad. I'm going to put the ad right there. And just pause right there. Just give them an opening. The assumption that rich people, and these billionaires in particular who surround Trump, are wise people who should be handed the keys to the fate of humanity is very, very erroneous, right? It is very dangerous. It's very wrong-headed, right? However, as time goes on, it becomes more and more apparent, more and more clear that the fact that these people like Elon Musk are so rich, and they're rich because they're so clever, people assume that they know what the hell they're talking about, and that they know what is best for humanity, and that they know what is best for the United States. They know what is best for the world. This is wrong-headed. This is wrong-headed. Money does not buy a whole lot of things. It doesn't buy clever. That's something that you either are or you're not. It doesn't buy class. That's something that you are or you're not. It doesn't buy compassion. It doesn't buy the ability to be compassionate, the ability to be empathetic. It doesn't buy wisdom. Money cannot buy wisdom. And when all of humanity, the world, all of the people of the world sitting back and putting the entire future of the human race, of the United States, of England, of Germany, of France, wherever, into the hands of someone simply because he or she is rich. This, I think, marks the end of humanity as we know it, because a rich person can be as corrupt, as wrong, as uncompassionate, as wrong-headed, as obtuse as anybody else. Money does not buy wisdom. These 12 men around Trump are not wise men. They're wise guys, but they're not wise men. Wise men like Jesus. Jesus was a wise man. Jesus was a wise man. When Jesus said, and I'm not a religious, whatever, I was raised in the church, but I'm not religious. I'm not religious. Although since Dad died, because, I said to Dad, if you die first, you have to tell me in some way, find a way to tell me. Do I have popcorn in some place on for a scene? I said, where is it? I said to my father, if you die first, you have to tell me what the hell is going on. Is there a God? Or is this all a lie? What's happening? And he said to him, and I don't care how you do it, right? So he dies, and I feel his presence every day, you know, even when I can't see him. And every morning I wake up, I know I'm digressing and I'm rambling, but I'm old, so just cut me some slack. Old people ramble, okay? So when I wake up, I say good morning to my father first thing. I haven't forgotten you yet, Daddy. I love you. And during the day, like if I'm walking, I imagine that he's with me, you know. But then sometimes I forget to remember that he's with me, you know. So when I catch myself, it might be 2 hours later, 3 hours, whatever. I'm like, oh, Dad, are you still with me? And I can not hear his voice, but like I can. It's like a thought. It says, oh, you finally remember that I'm here with you, right? And so in one of those kinds of exchanges, I was walking on the bridge near my house and my apartment, and I don't have a house. I wish. Can you get me a house, please? I want a little cottage in the country. Anyway, I digress. So one day I was walking across the bridge and I caught myself and I'm like, Dad, are you still with me? And he's like, oh, you finally remembered I'm with you, huh? And I could hear him laugh, not in his real voice, in my mind. I don't know, maybe that means I'm crazy, I don't know. But and it's like he said to me, and that's exactly how God is, right? The fact that you can't see God, because he knows throughout his life, after I became an adult, I became very doubting, agnostic, Um, he said, the fact that you can't see God doesn't mean he doesn't exist, or that God, he, it, they, whatever, does not exist. Just like the fact that you can't see me, but you know that I'm with you, walking with you now. And I know my Father's walking with me. I can feel it. All of that is to say, I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. It is to say that Jesus was a wise man, right? And there are reasons why when someone slaps you, boom, you turn the other cheek, you let them slap you. I mean, I can't do it, right? I can't do it. I'm going to exercise my Second Amendment, right? But why did Jesus say that? Because it stops the violence. It stops the violence, and violence, what's violence for? It just escalates, right? And it leads to bad places for everyone. One is dead, the other is in prison for the rest of their life. That's a death, right? Um, Avoid the problem, and if you can't, walk away. Jesus is right. What does it have to do with Trump and his 12 wise guys? It's just to say that we must not, in the world, misunderstand the place of other human beings in the world among us, right? Just because somebody is rich and very, very rich, maybe the richest person in the world, and this is nothing personal against Elon Musk, doesn't mean that they are wise. It doesn't mean that what they are proposing is right for the rest of humanity. It just means that they're rich. That's all. And maybe, we don't even know, Musk's wealth apparently is mostly on paper. Yes, he has some cheese. He has some cheese, right? Elon, can I have some of your cheese, please? I'm a little mouse over here. Let me have some cheese. He has some cheese, but quite a bit of his wealth is on paper. Tomorrow morning, we could wake up and discover that Tesla's stock has been downgraded, or something else occurs that completely decimates. I mean, I'm not, I'm just saying hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, this could happen. And this man can go from the richest man in the world to, he's never going to be like me, but I mean, to weigh down the totem pole and the hierarchy of wealth. And so it can't be that just because of his wealth or the wealth of these other 12 wise guys, that we all just sit back in the world and let them take over and lead us off the cliff. Because some of this stuff that they are proposing, in my view, is going to lead us off the cliff, whether morally, financially, and many other ways. I mean, DOGE, what do you talk government efficiency, taking people's social security money when they're old? I mean, we are old people. We're senior citizens. I'm going to be in so much trouble with this. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to stop here. Do you like this? I love snow globes. They're so beautiful. I just love. Listen, if you're not following me on this YouTube channel and you're wondering what is she talking about? I don't know. Sometimes I go off tangents, okay? But I would love to have you as a subscriber anyway on my YouTube channel, okay? And yeah, so just hit the subscribe button right now. It's free. And it is, what did I have for lunch? Popcorn. I eat too much popcorn. I have popcorn brain. So subscribe, okay? And hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, come back for more, because I typically make at least one video a day. Typically, there are exceptions, but typically. And yeah, let's have the rest of the men in the world, grow some BALLS, because let me tell you something. You can't sit back and let Elon and Trump and these guys run, what's the word, circles around y'all just because y'all have no money. I can't do anything. I'm a girl. I don't have the equipment needed for this. I just don't. But I can tell you something. Money gives you a sense of BALLS, but it's not real, right? So the other men in the world need to you need to do something. I'm terrified. I am terrified of Donald Trump and Elon Musk and their 12 friends, you guys. Okay. Bye.